All right. My name is Christopher Luna. In 2004, I founded Ghost Town Poetry Open Mic. It is an all ages, uncensored, LGBTQ plus friendly, anti-fascist and pro-science reading. And we're very happy to have you here. Because we're coming to you over Zoom, we have people from all over the country here with us, which is very exciting. And we're very excited about our feature, Micah Fletcher. Welcome, Micah. Glad you're here. Glad you're able to do this. So what we're going to do is, we'll have about 6 or 7 open mic readers, then we'll introduce the feature, and then we'll go to the rest of the people in the list after that. A couple of just sort of, housekeeping type things. It's really weird to read a poem and then have the deadly silence of a bunch of muted people on Zoom, so we do want you to mute yourself when someone is reading, but when they're done, if you like what they're doing, unmute yourself and hoot and holler and clap and whatever you're comfortable doing. We'd like to, try to generate some energy, and we created some pretty amazing energy at last month's reading. So I would say after a year of doing this shit, like we're finally trying to figure it out, finally getting it, and then soon we'll be in person again and it won't matter. Welcome, Joanne Boswell. Glad you're here. Am I forgetting anything? I don't know. What do you think, Morgan? Say hello to my co-host, Morgan Paige, and she'll let me know if I forgot anything I need to tell people.
I think the only thing that maybe you didn't mention is that it's one poem or about 3 minutes. I don't know if that was in I think it's in the email. But other than that, yeah, support niche, and you can send donations if you would like to Christopher's PayPal, $5 suggested donation for the evening. And yeah, we appreciate everybody showing up.
Yes, that's cool. Thank you. And the one other thing is this. We encourage people, everybody who's here, whether you're reading or just listening, to use the chat function. And if you have things that are going on, poetry related things, community related things, you can put that in the chat. I will also be saving the chat. So if you miss something a link or something that someone put in there, we will send that to you after the reading, within a few days of the reading. So I think we're just about ready here to actually do this thing. So our first open mic reader, I'm actually not aware of whether this person is here or not, so I guess we're about to find out, is Kevin Gowers here with us. Please speak up if you're here. All right. So we're going to go to our friend from Texas, Edith Blackbird. Edith, are you ready to read something to us?
Yes, of course.
Welcome.
Hello, everyone. I'm so glad to be here again, and thank you, Chris, for giving me this opportunity again. I wasn't here the last time, and I missed you all very much. Thank you, Morgan, for co-hosting as well and being such an amazing host of both of you. Okay, this piece is a little rough, so a trigger warning for all of you. This piece contains violence imagery, graphic description about gun violence. I made this based on a few personal experiences in Mexico, so hope you can take care of yourself if you need to, but hope you like it. This is called Waiting for the Answers, and as always, I had to ask for permission to use music. Is that okay, Christopher, Morgan? Okay. Can you hear the music and can you hear my voice at the same time? Is it okay?
I can hear both things.
Okay, yes. Thank you. So, let's go. ¡Al suelo! ¡Cubre tu cabeza! 95 degrees, concrete against foreheads. Sweat silhouettes will mark the spots where we abandoned our Tuesday afternoon in between traffic jams and prayers. Please, God, por favor, Señor, ayúdanos. The crossfire crossed the screams in the air, executing them all. 95-degree murder. Culatazo, apunta, bang! Bleeding silhouettes will lead to dirty money. Follow the traces. You're still alive, but don't. Too close, too dangerous, too late. Empty bowls, casings full of chosen and collateral souls, wide open frozen highballs, mannequin faces with gunpowder makeup, rotten clues of rotten greed, amazed by a handful of people. So can you make the question? Who knows? Who decides? Who pulls the trigger at whom? Look at the untouchable. Those who pull the strings, the Armani Rolex Ferrari demons who from afar lit the legends to make a sudden battlefield in a busy street, next to a high school, in front of a hospital, behind a bunch of packed public buses at 3:30 p.m. in the afternoon, because it doesn't matter. We don't matter, do we? So, al suelo, cubre tu cabeza, bullets are back-proof, name-proof, age-proof, when power is on the line. 911, ¿cuál es su emergencia? Silence. Victims can ask for justice. Police belongs to those Armani Rolex Ferrari demons. They will find you, they will torture you and murder everything you love until you implore your own death. Por favor, máteme. Too close, too dangerous, too late. Yes, that's what it is. Death is faceless. So who knows, who decides, who pulls the trigger at whom? Again, culatazo, apunta, bang! 911, ¿cuál es su emergencia? Silence. Dead bodies can speak, but they leave their fluids on the pavement, hold the fingertips and the empty weapons, the bullet holes, the missing breath. They translate massacre into numbers, cold statistics, as cold as their breasts. No pulse. No pulse. No pulse. Only numbers in our president's hands during a monotonous speech. Oh, there's a pulse, but there's no heart. It's just numbers. Oh, because it doesn't matter, ¿verdad? We don't matter, do we? Yes, how about yes? Yes, we do. We should, we must. Now, hope is on the line. 911, ¿cuál es su emergencia? 126,040,024 voices speaking. We all demand to speak to the president now. Where are you at? We want to know who decides, who pulls the trigger at whom. Justice is on the line. 911, ¿cuál es su emergencia? Estamos afuera del Palacio de Justicia, señor, waiting for the answers because it does matter. We matter. Don't we, Mr. President? So we wait for you. Now, speak! Thank you so much.
Woo! That was awesome.
Thank you, Edith. And next at Ghost Town Poetry Open Mic, I'd like to welcome Jennifer Pratt-Walter. Welcome, Jennifer.
Hi, everybody. Thank you. And Edith, that was so powerful. I just have to say, William Stafford has a famous line in one of his poems that says, "Every war has two losers." And that's what your poem reminded me of tonight. Based on that as well, I'd like to offer a sort of a testimonial, a plea for peace. And this has a refrain you can all say to yourself. I know we can't hear each other say it, but the refrain is, "That is you." And that is the title of this poem. I looked upon the white-cloaked mountain, and all that is holy, she said, "That is you." I lay in the shade of a towering maple, and all that is holy, he said, "That is you." I played tag with the ocean's waves, and all that is holy, they said, that is you. I held an old kitty as he breathed his last breath. And all that is holy, the one said, that is you. I wept with a lost refugee, and all that is holy, the all said, that is you. I saw my reflection in a deep, still pool. And all that is holy, I said, I am you. Thank you.
Jennifer, please say a few words about your new book. Don't you have a new book out?
I do. 52 Sundays. And it's a collection of spirit-based poetry that spontaneously seemed to come on Sundays, listening to music or taking part in a church service or a ritual at the Unitarian Church. And I'll post my contact info if you're interested. A poem every Sunday of the year. Thank you so much, everybody.
Beautiful, Jennifer. Thank you so much for sharing that beautiful piece. And Edith, wow, just blowing us away here already. Thank you. Gracias, gracias. Next, I'd love to introduce our good friend, Igor Brezhnev. Igor, welcome to the Ghost Town Zoom stage.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much. I'm excited to see Micah perform or hear, whichever one happens. And thank you to Chris and Morgan for hosting, and all of you for showing up every month. So I had a poem that I wrote yesterday, but I think I'm going to read a poem from the volume 4 of Night Since that I wrote in part for Micah. So this is after one particularly memorable night at the Alberta Rose Theatre. Night 123. For Mike, for Micah, for Shane. Poet spills electric blue on the stage, and after the sky blooms gold, blossoms a rainbow as it does after a summer storm. All the green is fresh, and the mulch spells we will grow. We will grow. We trees lightning hit, grow hesitant stems, showing our leaves to the sky that charred us. Poet rains a red hot fire on the stage, and after the sky is starry night, specks blinking stages of our pain, constellations of forgiveness placed there by poets' clever hands signing, we are still able to love, like this boy. Poet sets letters geometry to a page, and after the sky is lush velvet ink known to the graveyard shift writers. A blanket for this scat of a moon to roll on. Hope, fool, even if it will wane now again and wax again. I just want you to know, poets are weaving sorrow into the sky for you to find whatever hope you need on this one night. So that was that one. And I guess the volume 4 is coming out fairly soon. I don't know, sometime this month. And volume 3 is out, and thank you to everyone who's gotten a copy. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoy the book. And and thank you, Micah. That performance at Rose Theater was goddamn good. Between you, Shane, and Mike, goddamn it. I'm glad you're here. I'll post some links in the chat. Thank you all. Appreciate you.
All right.
Wow, Igor. Yeah, everybody give a round of applause to Igor. He's doing some amazing things. Night Sense Volume 3 is phenomenal. Pick up a copy. It's out, and soon to be Volume 4. So let's just like bask in this like light of the Night Sense 3 here. It's some beautiful shit. And yeah, I'm really super excited to see Micah here as well. It's yeah, always powerful. So we're all in for a treat here. Next, we're gonna hear from Bill Erickson. Bill, welcome.
Hey, thank you. And thanks everybody for the opportunity. Just super grateful to be here to listen to all these great poets. It's amazing. So I'm going to read one from what I hope posthumously someone will call my astrophysics phase. Kind of a short, sweet, sort of surreal, interesting one. I call it Breakfast Soliloquy. After breakfast, I discover an accretion disk around the empty container of raspberries. An iridescent plate of ablated droplets circling recyclable clamshell like discarded astral projects on the kitchen counter. God is summer fruits and moldy gauze. God is absorption. Our new light fixture is the Hubble, beaming images of war and elections over history while the dishwasher counts another minute from its dry cycle. An arid star blinking in the name of cleanliness. We do not understand, but nonetheless we orbit one another's names like the last ring of cereal, saturated and without integrity, evading the spoon in an expanse of milk as thick as the emptiness contained in our daily need to eat. God is an expiration date. The streaky kitchen window pane is an event horizon. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing, Bill. That was great. And thanks for showing up. We hope to see you again. Next, we're going to hear from our great friend, Bruce Hall. Bruce, give it up
All
for
right,
Bruce.
Bruce.
Hey. I always like to plug Christopher's writing seminars and that he puts on. And I wrote this one there. It's called Ars Zoom Poetica. Will poets write poems about poems they heard on Zoom poetry? Can they be sure they heard it right? Did they mute themselves or were they muted by the host? Did they hear the poem complete or break for the bathroom too soon? Or did someone's internet connection leave silent lips, moving, gasping for air, fish out of water words? Were the words pixelated? Lost becomes cost, and the magic of love is now too expensive to comprehend. But does it matter? The psychologists say we are preconceived to hear what we want to hear, not necessarily what was read, much less what was written. Is this so different from in person? The shuffling feet, scraping of chairs, excuse me, sorry, excuse me, the not so subtle, not so under the breath comment. Glitches are glitches. Yes, I think poets will write poems about poems they heard on Zoom. After all, they're only poets. Not even the pandemic or Zoom can change that.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Bruce. Yeah, a glitch is a glitch, but you know, I'm looking forward to, right now I'm very distracted by my 3 kittens in my living room and I'm like spraying them with the water bottle. And so like, I'm looking forward to not having like to like be distracted from things going on in the house. And I'm looking forward to being in the same room with everybody again, which I'm hoping will happen sooner than later. So, but yeah, that was great. You can't, take the poet out of us, no matter the scenario. Thank you so much, Bruce. And next we're going to hear from Cindy Chatham. Cindy, welcome to Ghost Town.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm really pleased to be here, but I'm not pleased if you don't continue your Zoom because then I can't be with you all. Okay. This poem is called Gary Bananas. It's about a person I knew in San Francisco. The alcohol took him, 1988, before Thanksgiving. Took his body, ate him up, his belly swollen, the lines in his face over his gentle soul, older than his years. Long, straggly hair, nearly white, a black beret, Grant Avenue bars, Washington Square Park, drinking tall beers in brown paper bags, sitting on benches and J's passed around. The beers came first, lulling him to dreaminess beneath the grumbles, an easy touch. Hey, bananas. The quarters went quickly, the dollars, the cigarettes. The checks came on the first. Debts were paid, new ones made. If you were soft, crossing the park could wipe you out. An occasional windfall bought drafts all around, a new blue work shirt, some pastels, a deal at Romeo's store, scotch at a bar. A sloppy drunk, he swayed, and the words slurred, and he excused everyone. His brown mustache spilling over his smile. He loved a good joke, loved to tell them. I saw his shoulders slump when they flopped. He stayed loaded as much as he could. The codeines, the beers, weed anytime. He carried souvenirs, photos in his wallet, pictures in his room, drawings, a few old stamps, photos, books. Red, faded theater curtains gathered at the 3 windows, looking down on Columbus Avenue. Memories of his love's comrades, the good old times, camping on Russian River, swimming, his brown dog, all the friends now gone. It was a simple life, a North Beach, hotel room, a few sticks of furniture, the corner sink to pee in at late night's end, a semblance of dignity, a hotel, park bench, saloon, North Beach life, a circle, a simple circle, a fear of dying. No one claimed the body.
All right. Thank you, Cindy.
Thank you for letting me read. Thank you so much.
You read it really well too.
Yes, thank you, Cindy. Glad that you were able to be with us. And in lieu of a bio, which I'm assuming everybody who is here has read, I asked Micah if there was a favorite poem of his that I could read to introduce him. And I'm going to share my screen for a second because I want to show you the cover of this book because it's one of my favorite books too. Let me just make sure that I'm sharing the right thing. Oh, sorry, 1 second. I was on the wrong screen. Okay. The wonders of Zoom, everybody. Here we go. This is We Were Warriors by Johnny No Bueno.
Yeah.
Another powerful spoken word artist in the Portland area. And you know, the reason that I invited Micah to be here is he's just, you know, one of the most powerful readers and performers that I have seen in this area. And so really pleased to welcome him to Ghost Town Poetry Open Mic. Please say hello to my friend, Micah Fletcher.
Hello, Micah.
Hi.
Hello, everybody.
Okay.
Micah, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. I'm sorry. I thought that you were
Reading the poem.
Yes.
was supposed to read a poem. Sorry, Micah.
No, you're okay.
I totally
okay.
fucked that up. Welcome to Zoom, everybody. Welcome
Story
to
of my life.
our new reality. Yeah, big wind up and then nothing. Sorry, Micah. Here we go. Johnny Bueno. We were warriors. We were warriors. We championed listless causes. We sat penniless during autumn to smack us rainy. We took turns negating our worth, from pheromone fixes to sex sickness. We were puddles of electrified water, waiting for the innocent in midnight basements. We were brass knuckles and the bottle of whiskey at all ages shows. We were church pew evil, hoping to firestorm cleanse the world of all impurities. We were shaven heads and mohawks, steel-toed boots and violent empathy. We were children fed Adam's apple, giving the finger to regret. There is something glorious about feigned apathy by a flock of broken promises and failed vows. We never expected to live this long. We cannot find enough apologies, so we throw our bodies onto funeral pyres, hoping we can effigy ourselves absolved. We are very, very sorry, not for the stain we left, but remaining walking pillars of your failure. All we ever wanted were the lies we dressed ourselves in to billboard us proud. That's Johnny No Bueno, and here is Micah Fletcher.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Micah Fletcher. I am born and raised in Portland, Oregon. Grew up in the neighborhood formerly known as Felony Flats. It is a pleasure and an honor to be here with you. In the nature of this being something I've never done before, as far as doing the whole online thing, this is gonna probably look a little different. I'm told that I can't be seen right now. That's okay. But we're gonna head through this together. Like a bunch of adults. So I've discovered the concept of something referred to as a trigger warning. I think it's useful. So we're going to start there, but mine are kind of interesting. So enjoy that, because it's actually pretty much the same thing as poetry. You see, for those of you in the audience, trigger one. My work is not what you would call super fun or the faint of heart. I am the type of person that bleeds on everything I touch and reads it to people. This is like reading palm prints. The difference is that mine smells kind of like iron, like failure. Watch the blood drip, see your body fall. There's a first trigger warning. There's a lot of blood in these poems. A lot of children die in them too. It's nothing personal. I'm not trying to be edgy. I swear on all of my edges, I'm not trying to be edgy. It's just that I've seen all of the worst things happen that can on most days of the week. So when I tell you I'm 25, but you look at me and assume 36, do not think that I'll take it personally. I won't. I've watched the atom bombs drop, seeing Hiroshima happen inside of people's brains. This is a metaphor, and hopefully not minimalizing the very real tragedies the colonial state I live in has perpetuated upon the world. However, I think it's apt in that I have seen very singular events incinerate the lives of most of the people in my life. See, Janice never did stop sticking needles in her arms. There's another trigger warning for you. There's a lot of drugs in my life. You got to understand, when you have enough pain in your body, the only way to cope through it sometimes is to find something that takes you away from here. So just to let you know, if you decide to leave at any point in the evening, or I guess in this case, mute, I don't take it personally. I wouldn't want to listen to my story either. So my name is Micah. That's what a lot of my work delves into. A lot of very dark themes, a lot of really bad shit. There's some hopeful bits. I won't lie, it's not much, but there's some hopeful bits. And actually a lot of what I'll be reading today comes from a manuscript I'm working on, with a working title of Cigarettes, Pillow Talk, Lonely, that hopefully you will all be seeing in your local bookstore within the next year and a half. So with that, I think we might as well begin. See, and I find a lot of little strings that connect things together, weird things like times, dates, days, like Fridays. See, Friday finishes a week. Soul ending, we've bled grateful, watering a weekend of liberty's trees. We thankful and truthful till Monday winds itself alarm clock scream through these echo chambers of our lives. See, our Friday, born Rome, a mass empire falling in 11 minutes. Watch the family's spine dropping into train floor, open to the world, the honest marrow blooming. Friday's sun paint is shiny. Allow live wire to frame portrait it as a black plate, a shimmer that sky can garnish. Friday dressing well, a classic look. Pop your top button open, let all that shine in skin tip soaking sun into smile flowers mildest hours. Because it's Friday, and our rest is a promise here, enduring hope that a tomorrow's sleep manifests. What is Friday but prematurely cherishing your tomorrow today? I remembered it screaming in the ambulance's throat. Shouldn't scatter the locust in fear clouds, but Friday hangs wrong when it's a looming arch overhead. It stands like a gate to graveyards. I don't know how to bury a Friday properly. What's the dress code? Is a law in its page demanding less long to fill the sleeve, to crop our leg pant length specific? Is surf rock music the right tune to play? Is there more memorial in a weekend if veterans die in battles they didn't train for in a field called a hometown? How can we amplify the vocal mourn, our torn throats proportionally to be numbered against the unit of sibling sin's brother that we never met, who loved us in last breath when he died in a train car? Will he become some rainbow streaking smile above his tomb? Will his love convince some God I have to hear to turn brother rainbow into promises, familiar construct, something flood the world, I think. But this rainbow's promise is for at least Fridays in all of perpetuity. Every week after this, love will win. Hung heart ornament will save the children this time. I love you will wrap next armored. The fathers in a train cabin will arrive home on time and not sit empty apology on the investigator's tongue flaps. No more. Not here, not this day and time. Tilly's death was all that it took. Not enough for return. Just enough to stop a following crowd of other good intentions. Look, I know that the whole idea is Friday and it should be fun, and I am so apologies in the butterfly cage for how I spiraled these tangents down the voids of pages despite audience eyes beaming tiredly. You just want to sleep. I know. Me too. And I've had a long, long week. Things like that are kind of what I find connections inside of, you know what I mean? Things like dates, times, little signifiers for things that recur in our lives. And so they tend to end up being a lot of the thematic things that I go through. For instance, I watched too much TV as a child. I feel like a lot of people can relate to that. And there was this really baffling moment in The Wizard of Oz where, at least in the edition I watched, when Dorothy ends up going to Oz, the screen goes from black and white to colored. And this kind of got me to thinking about the fact that there are children who can't laugh in cities that don't smile, dreaming of color beneath a black-white sky in the VHS static of their lives. And I was taught how to splice tapes together just so that I could Wizard of Oz myself into a chromatic cast lifestyle. But when I tried, that's when I learned that format is the careful art of building borders in an experience just to walk people through its geography, call it a story, and justify all the suffering you go through just to reach the end. And I learned little things like that, you know? Little things here and there, little lessons. I try to write them down, try to make it so that people can understand them, but it always gets awkward. You know, because when you get older, things get more awkward. You have to deal with more weird shit. Take sex, for instance. In trying to have sex with a person whose eyes are dusty from a long, long road, I am reminded that the world is a rose bush, and I have now fallen past the flowers to thorns. All I want to do is cuddle, watch this fucking movie, and if lucky, give and receive a little bit of head on the in-between. But it's a horror movie. It's some can't be shit about a redhead werewolf. And we're at the point where the knife block of her face has some poor bastard's neck locked inside of it like a promise I didn't make that was kept anyways. I see this and my body jerks. It's instinctive now. Sushi chefs practically give me seizures at this point, just doing their job in front of me. Like sound is a memory. It's a bowed string. There is sustain and vibration and a sound like a child in a man asking a god for a chance. It's everywhere. She asks if I'm okay, if this is okay. Like there are any good answers in my skull worth wringing out of my tongue. I just say, yeah, it's fine. You know, just trauma. Because God forbid one fraction of a moment in the Shakespeare of my life be anything other than the most divine comedy. You know, it's weird, man. I've been doing this thing for a while. I started writing when I was 16. I'm 25 now. That's about 10 years. And what I've always found so awkward about it is the way that we kind of cut ourselves open and take all the things we would never speak on and turn them into art and share them with crowds of strangers. It's really reminiscent of a lot of different things, particularly this cult that I joined in order to stop dying. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called AA. I really needed it, it turned out. And part of that whole thing is you have this older person, or just basically somebody who has a kind of life you want, take you through what's called the steps. And sometimes your first year of sobriety, your what we call sponsor gets a really horrible illness that degenerates their nervous system, and you watch them die really slowly. And then you write shit like this in their honor. It's dedicated to Clifford. I miss and love you. You play guitar the way you drink coffee. There is a childish glee to an honest cynicism, and I don't know if you were forgiven. So on behalf of whatever is judging, I forgive you for all the horrors you admitted to making. If saving one soul can redeem a man, then congratulations, you're redeemed. I was shredded burlap over a collection of possessions when I asked you to show me how monsters revert back into men again. It surprised you, I think, the way I could identify the same hollow spot in your corneas where the too much leaked in. It was just like mine, you see. You play guitar the way you say I'm sorry. You and I apologize very similarly. We mean it, even when it isn't our fault, especially when it isn't our fault. We love people. You listened to me speak as honestly as I could. Your dams broke. When a veteran cries from sorrow, the implication is that they recognize your sorrow in the same horrors they have seen. I think we both know what evil smells like. That's why I learned how to sugar and cream my coffee like you. Our lives were bitter enough. You played guitar the way you laugh, the way you talk. See, the crook in your grin was more than a walking stick for the hopeless, but a cradle that damned children laid in, bassinet of the lost rocking in the sweet gravel comfort of your voice. It's funny, because you sing so sweetly, I never did get a live performance out of our daily meetings. And towards the end, when I offered to buy you a guitar, you declined quickly. Your fingers already beginning to fail you, body locking down like that cage that would be your muscles sinking into rigor mortis before you were allowed to pass with some goddamn grace. You told me that your principles were of far more value than your passions. So, Mr. Smith, I'm getting off the cross today, just like you asked me to. Today, I'm stepping onto the ground evenly. I still have so many questions, and there are some moments where the only thing I want is to hear your voice reminding me about how everything is not, in fact, about me, despite my heart's constant insistence to the contrary. But in lieu of being allowed the privilege of your presence, and because you of all soldiers deserve to finally go back home, I'm gonna rip these fucking nails out of my palms from the plank that they bind me to. Get on my knees and ask whatever's out there, please. My story, can y'all still hear me? Are we good? Yeah, we're good. My story involves a lot of that. It took a lot of different random strangers to get me to being the semi-functional automaton that I am today. And I'm grateful for them. I still have times when I get lost in these moments. It's like you can feel me feeling me from a mile, from all the miles before and after, but then I blink. And the hospital is 4 days behind me. My lip droops at the bottom left now, and the sapphire in my stomach sings the sweet melodies of Bombay through my blood. Tells me how not to feel the looped thread holding my neck together. I'm swaying ragged, giggling madness, speaking emphatically, and praying from the bottom of my spine, ringing off the top of me like a tower signal, a cellular thing, a radiant wave, and I blink. My parents' house is now 3 months behind me. A set of steps my feet never traveled, a porch I've never lived on. My right hand holds Western civilization. My left holds the man swallowing it. He pleads for his life. There is sweat and ego. I thrum. Destructive purpose is a measurement. The space between my finger and a choice, all roads fork. I blink. I'm 2 weeks in front of my new home. My father drives patiently. We do not want to ripple the space with all this time. Sets a watch to the beat of his love. I send a prayer to the fallen angels in my telephone. The years ripple behind us. I blink. 1 month sober. Johnny told me to suck on this stupid fucking coin and said, when it melts, I can drink again. I taste tin, shake thoroughly and regret. The new normal never seems to end. The white in my knuckles drained into my face. Every loving poison is my ghost now. I'm haunted by a love for what kills me. I'm the desperation of clock hands, certain as the tick, the mesh of teeth on teeth, this grinding, a forward thing, all push and tension, click, blink. A year later, I stand on a corner, trace blood off a curb into a street. Yaka died afraid. I remember fear. Fingers in my neck trying to plug holes in my time, just like me. Twin flames, burning aimless, angry children, swinging grandfather clock pendulums at the world, smashing glass. Our clocks all sound the same at midnight. His rang hollow. I blink. Stretch time. Set the clock, stare. Watch the hands, pray for faster blink. A week passes, a heart stops, blink. Her home, packed boxes, crying, blink. Plague is upon us. Hail the grinding halt as I blink. A fountain burns in a hail of rubber and tear gas, and I keep fucking blinking. When we dream, it is because our eyes move under closed lids. Paint landscapes to the sky, trying to make sense of it all. And my problem is that I never took it to heart, the advice I was given at such a young age. Don't blink. You might miss it. Are we still good on time?
Thank you. Yeah, I did. I think are you wanting to do one more? Is that what you're asking about?
Oh, no, that's all right. That's all.
Why don't you stay on the camera here for just a second? Let these folks know sort of like where they can find you, where they can see you, where, you know, what you're up to. I know you said a little bit before it started, but just as a reminder, now that they know what you can do, anything you want to say about the stuff you got going on would be cool.
Right. So I am actually in the midst of, like I said, working on my first book, Cigarettes, Pillow Talk, Lonely being the working title so far. But as of now, I and a gentleman by the name of Mic Crenshaw have developed an album called Brink of Distinction by Last of a Dying Breed. You can find it on pretty much any streaming service as well as iTunes Music. If none of those things tickle your fancy, always feel free to donate to pretty much any organization fighting against the rising creep of fascism and towards the equality of all mankind. In my name, if you ever feel so entitled. And if you happen to be in Portland, once all this plague madness is over, feel free to come say hi to me at the local, there's the Eastburn open mic that if they don't shut down somehow, I can be found out on Thursdays at 7 p.m. And like I said, I am going to be in the works, starting something new, probably at the Book Pub in North Portland, if not at the new Deadstock location that is supposedly going to be opening up in the next 4 or 5 months. That's really it, unfortunately.
That sounds like plenty to me. Let's give Micah a big hand. I mean, this is some pretty great stuff here.
Yeah, great, Micah. Yeah, I love your style.
Muy bien.
Thank you so much, and I hope everyone will check that stuff out. In a few minutes, I'll make sure to get the links to some of the stuff that I mentioned into the chat for everybody. And I do want to apologize for fucking up that intro.
Story of our lives.
I appreciate you being here, and I'm gonna be following what you're doing for the duration. You know, it's good stuff.
Appreciate it, Chris. Thank you very much for the honor and the privilege.
All right, and I hope when we do find ourselves in person again, that you'll bop over the other side of the river and spit for us a little bit. You know.
I'd be honored.
All right. So we are now going to hear from someone who is zooming in all the way from the state of Maine. Please say hello to Brian Franco. Welcome, Brian.
Shalom, everyone. I'm just going to do a poem that I just found out is going to be published in the Moonstone Art Center Nonsense Verse Anthology. And if I can find where I had it, it's called Why I Am Medically Incapable of Writing Haikus. The monster that resides under my bed came to surface after a dinner party with a family of drunken dust bunnies. As I slept, he inserted a hypodermic into a vial of propofol, then shot me just below my right shoulder. He next pulled out a purple Sharpie and wrote lullaby on my right cheek and goodnight on my left cheek. He proceeded to carefully wrap the Sharpie in my right hand as if I wrote the message myself, but he didn't know I was left-handed. The monster shaved my head, grabbed a stethoscope, placed its listener on my skull, tapped around until he heard a noise that made him giggle, marked the spot with a red X, pulled out a power drill, drilled a 1 1/8 inch titanium bit into my skull, then inserted a stainless steel straw, slurped loudly, and yelled, "Yum, yum, I love the taste of haiku at sunrise." When I woke, I was bald, and there seemed to be a scab made of drywall spackle northwest of my left ear. Although I have never seen the monster, I know he exists, despite what the people who put me in the straitjacket say. And Sunday is going to be a launch, kind of a launch reading for the anthology, and I'll put all that information in the chat. And also on the 24th of July, I have a workshop with Tumble Words out of El Paso that's called Breaking Rules and Inventing New Poetic Forms. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Brian. I mean, one of the reasons that open mics and this open mic exists is for people to share information. So definitely share that information in the chat. And I will also be sending an email like within the week to everybody who is here right now. So if anybody misses any of those links, we'll make sure that you get the information that is shared here tonight. And next, we're going to hear from somebody who has been with us since the very first night of the Ghost Town Poetry Open Mic, before it even had a title. And that is Jim Martin. Welcome, Jim. Glad that you're here with us tonight.
Thank you. I just have one. Doesn't have a title yet. And I'm trying to find a place where I can see it and hold my phone. Head on pillow, adagio in ears, eyes move up and behind, round moon, teased by clouds, thin like smoke, framed by pine on left, fur on right, peace. Succession of thoughts, spirits, heavens, beauty, wonder. Could it be heavens, moon, cold, inhospitable? Should I be there in an instant in pajamas? Would I float in company of spirits, know the bliss, peace of heaven, or be immediately ice? Where are the heavens, spirits, peace? Not above, think I, but in this space between you, all of you, and I.
Thank you, Jim. And our next reader, I'm proud to say, is not only a Ghost Town regular, but I published his first book of poetry through Printed Matter Vancouver, and I happen to know that he's working on a sequel book, a continuation of Consistently East. Let's please welcome Matthew Eiford Schroeder. Glad you're here tonight, Matt.
I am incredibly thankful. Micah, holy shit. You have a gift. There's just no fucking way around that. That was incredible. This is, I think I've been working on an 8-year project since I got a brain injury, trying to understand masculinity. And I think I have a rough draft of how I'm going to finish this 2-book series, and I want to run it by y'all tonight. I think what I arrived at is that the rituals that I believed made me a man, even though I've always been anti-fascist and everything, were rooted in white supremacy and the forms of domination that came from, whether this is the cowboy, the sailor. If we look at all those histories, there's a lot we don't like. And I'm trying to confront that with this. So it starts with, this is called, I'm in need of a new ritual rooted in the words of the dead men. We're rooted in the best words of the dead men I love. And this has 2 quotes to begin it with. A ritual is the physical enactment of a myth by Joseph Campbell. And all theories of salvation, secular or non-secular, which fail to understand this degradation of the colonizer, are theories which indirectly admit the superiority of the oppressors and collaborate with them, by Ashis Nandi. Turquoise as an anchor out of the burning, restless, unrooted, panic-grabbed, shimmers out of the ocean into 4-year-old eyes that know that mine is the most beautiful toothbrush in the world. In essays, I'm reading the anthropology of the color that might save me, who carried it around the world, and what they believed it would do for them. The metropole is made of its disembodied hunger. Without a stomach, there is no end to its appetites. It will eat the world out from underneath itself. It sends the men who need their bodies, but believe our irrational flesh is in the way of truth, to the lie of the wilderness, where we believe there is a different set of rules that justify the exercising of our tantrums, of our inconsistencies. Feed on the vulnerable, but never ourselves, and bring something back. Burning through the world without learning ourselves. Measuring progress in miles of infrastructure that expedite the destruction in our self-hating desire to be remembered as mileposts, back to the center of where we learn to separate our bodies from the rest of the world. Like ejaculating on new dirt could save us from an epistemology that's killing us. How much can you analyze a color before you have to leave the different letters in black and white, limits of print, and smear it on something? Eat with your eyes. Like you have yet to learn the words to complicate tones until you can contain them without bursting. When are pruning shears more about keeping a callus than making a choice? I have looked over the rum-soaked maps, the names of the commanders of ghost ships, sprinkled over a severed history for their service. How do I ethically live on a stolen land I have no intention of leaving? I don't know what to call the turquoise waters of my youth that have trickled into all of my nutrition. I'm starting to learn some of the names before Columbia and Puget. I will starve in the rituals of my youth that put strength in between me and the love I need to perform the cascading snow white lie melting from the mountains I need a new name for. Into rivers and oceans I need new names for. To slather myself in a turquoise worth returning to. Oh, sons of America, let this truth seep into your triumph destructions. The old lions yelled, tell the truth before they died. Old lions yell, tell the truth before you die. When the young boys get old enough to look for a trail of scars to follow. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. It hurts then and it hurts now. Thank you.
Oh, that was good.
Oh man.
Damn, Matt. Wow. Everybody's just bringing it tonight. I'm just, I think, wow, I've gotten like chills so many times tonight, and I think tears have come so many times. Thank you, Matthew, and thank you to Micah. That was phenomenal reading, and wow, I mean, to be able to do that even without video and all of this, I mean, just like, yeah, just ripping open our chest cavities and making us feel things really, really deeply. So, and that's what poetry's about. So thank you guys. Next, I'm super excited to announce Nathan Tompkins. Welcome to the Ghost Town stage. Nathan, we miss you. I miss you. I know we all fucking miss you. Welcome to Nathan Tompkins.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. The poem I'm going to read today is called, can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good. All right. The poem I'm going to read today is actually from 3 different workshops that I sewed together, and I'm not quite sure how it works, so please bear with me. It's called 20 mg. 20 milligrams. To feel what? Every friendship is impossible with the universe tiptoeing along the tightrope string between one ear and the next. Threads split, parting along strange genetic fault lines. So toss the key down the sewer grate before locking the door and hide the shame tracks on the cheeks from fluorescent light bulbs fading in the lantern. Buried in the frayed darkness, huddled beneath the milliseconds, elongated legs squirming across the skin, and the clock's green jade encrusted sand crunched beneath haggard fingerprints. Nerves stretched between oak and branch, cracked sawtooth fissure threads, fingers picked in winter-colored gales. 20 fucking milligrams to feel what? I don't know. I only know the catacombs beneath the breastbone are no longer a barren desert bordering flaking skin cells. And I'm no longer pole dancing at the Vale while the ravens sing a cappella. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, Nathan.
Very, very nice, Nathan. Ravens sing a cappella. Weren't we just talking about a raven's nest stage in the trees earlier? Anyway, that was great. Thank you so much for being here. And I hope that you show up again. Always, always, always enjoy your work. Next, we're going to hear from Bethany Lee. Is Bethany with us here?
I was checking. I don't see your name, but let's give her a second just in case. I think maybe she didn't make it.
Right on. Yeah, I'm not seeing her either. So we're gonna invite Joanne Boswell to the stage next. Yeah, Joanne, welcome. It's good to see you.
Thank you. It's good to see everybody. And because Bethany's my friend and she was supposed to read before me, I will send a link out later, but she just had her second book released a couple weeks ago. It's called Etude for Belonging, Etude for Belonging. So I'll drop the link in there for her since she couldn't make it. Thank you for hosting this space. I am so grateful that you kept it going during the Zoom world. And Micah, that was awesome. I loved your set. I'm not going to read something deep and meaningful. I'm going to read something really ridiculous tonight. It's, Mother's Day just happened. So I thought I would do something that I wrote around Mother's Day. And Christopher is going to screen share it for me in a minute because I want you to all play. It's a bingo. It's parenting bingo. And some of you I know are not parents, and that's okay. You could if you have nieces or nephews, or pets. You could play along, and some of the bingo squares are very specific, but you could like take the spirit of the square. And if you hit a bingo, I would love for you to just type in the chat bar bingo, because I'm just curious how many we're gonna get of those. So if you could share that now, Christopher. I got this idea because I have a friend I write with who texted me to tell me one of these squares in here had happened. And she said, so you can add that to my parenting bingo board. And here we go. Parenting bingo. Emergency C-section, slice, stretch, squeeze, startle, snuggle, and stitch. Glowworm, super cool sunglasses, cozy warm NICU baby. Urine fountain in your mouth. Repeat, reheat, same coffee 12 times in one day. Your favorite shirt splattered, baby poop pattern unnoticed by you 4 hours. Happy, pudgy fist burrow deep, then plunge toothless, mouth full of sand. Rainbow of Play-Doh, caked dry in hair. 2 kids, 2 car seats, 2 poopy diapers side by side. Clock strikes midnight, offspring upchucks. Creak of door, eerie moan, like ghost long white nightgown. Terror stalks the halls pre-dawn. Forgot to diaper toddler before bed. Morning is a puddle. Halloween costume home constructed with supplies of surplus. TP rolls now empty, and or diaper boxes. No free spaces in parenting. Stepped on Lego, swore like sailor. Child suddenly sounds stuffy at lunch. Tweeze raisins from nostrils. Green peas spiral inner conch of preschool ear, looking, yes, just like marbles in a funnel. First deep clean of car in 6 months, discover backseat marker mural. Save your energy, surrender this battle. Sticker swarms now cover every dresser. Attempted escape velocity thwarted when shoes refuse to fit. Pull out 2 plastic princesses and a Matchbox car. Rear view mirror displays toddler waving sweet potato fries dangerously near current car seat blowout swamp. Preschoolers bicker over magnets while you pass out in the recliner, and or now you have 3 kids. Take a single night off. Spouse says yes to silly bunchems tossing, then cuts said toys out of foot-long hair. Turns out that earwax was a tick. Head to the hospital to check for Lyme disease. Playground visit spawns ER trip to surgically glue child's face the night before first day of kindergarten. Listen like sleuth outside bathroom, waiting for the sweet, sweet sound of that oh so vital pre-bed whiz. Change child sheets 4 times in 1 week.
Wow. That is the best parent's manual I have ever heard.
Dr. Spock ain't got nothing on that.
I know that in the realm of Zoom we have things like chats and things like this, but I didn't happen to check in with my amazing co-host about whether she would like to read something tonight. Are you going to read something, Morgan?
I'm just listening tonight. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for being such a great co-host and such a great person. So our next open mic reader is going to be Denise Campbell. Really glad that Denise is here with us tonight. Welcome to Ghost Town Poetry, Denise.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. This is something I wrote during one of Christopher's The Work workshops, and it was actually the one that was just this last Monday. It's called Still Smoking. The songs you sing on our back porch, sometimes more than one an hour, are a dirge. They're of ash and soot, poison and fiberglass. The verses are all the same, about your parents, about your father, about their divorce and the carnage that followed. We would sing any other song with you if only you would join us. Songs of love and hope and belonging. Thank you.
Yeah, very good.
Thank you, Denise. And next we are going to hear from Ian motherfucking Caton, and I would just like to say, Slayer!
Hey, thank you. And thank you to our feature, Micah. I knew Cliff a little bit, and he was an awesome dude, had a lot of power, so I think he probably respected and enjoyed a lot of what you wrote, so that's cool as hell. This one, I just finished it today. It's called, and I put the title together, I like it. It's called 5 Smart Ways to Find Hidden Water Leaks Without Destroying Your House. Dumpster punks like to sit by dumpsters and get fucked up. Doesn't matter, 40 or some tall boys wrapped in a paper bag or out in the open. Fuck it, when you're drinking by the dumpster, you're down and out, away from anyone. Really, who gives a fuck? Who would call the cops driving by? They'll never see you down here on the pavement, on the blacktop, sidewalk, street, or if you're lucky, there's a curb and you can just cop a squat and sit your ass right here. Let me tell you a story, my brother would say. Metal through his tongue, a gauge in that tuft of skin above the nose, right between the eyes. You can feel it if you reach up and tug just between your eyes. Yeah, right there. That's where you stick a 4-gauge bolt or pierced ears and lip. Dumpster don't give a fuck. Just give me something else to drink. I finished this 40 of St. Ides and now I gotta piss, but looking for something else to smash. Dumpster punk is scrounging in the dumpster for whatever he can use. Cardboard box, bundle of newspapers, doesn't matter. There he sits with his bro, with studs in his jacket, boots and calloused hand, to smack him in the ass, smack him in the face, smack him around a little. It's what they do. They're just playing around, man. Smack a bitch, smack him in the chest, smack his bare arm with that fresh tattoo. Gotta get it set, then have another drink. Dumpster punks love a half pint of E&J brandy. Sticky sweet, tastes like heat. Dumpster punk gonna get fucked up. Broken glass, nails and tacks, greasy oil spill, busted bike chain, old bald tire, cigarette butts and gum wrappers, spare change, a lost Converse All-Star high-top tennis shoe with the bottom part flapping off, paper clips and safety pins, staples, duct tape, anything to hold it together, clenched fist, clenched jaws, grinding teeth, lint, Velcro, blood stains. It don't come out. Dumpster punks live forever, crawl into the pipes in the wall, hide out with cockroaches and never die.
Okay, yeah, that was good.
Love it.
Wow, that was great. Wonderful.
Thank you, man. And
Wow.
thank you for being a part of this Ghost Town community. I really, I want y'all to know that I remember when I was really new to this shit, it's really easy to feel like there are all these people and all this information on the other side of this wall that's impenetrable and that you can't get through and you don't know how to get to the other side. And so one of the reasons that Ghost Town Poetry Open Mic exists is to help us meet each other, help us connect with other poets, and help us find out what's going on out there, including books and recordings and workshops and things like that. And so I really appreciate everybody who's here right now for participating in that process of sharing. So I'm going to share a poem with you. And thank you, Igor. I'm really proud of this this interview that Igor did with me for Nailed Magazine. Thanks for putting that in the chat, Igor. I hope everyone will check it out. You're going to need some snacks probably. It'll probably take a little while to get through it. I had a lot to say about my life in poetry, and there's some videos there, some videos of me reading. But to finish things up tonight, I am going to read a poem that is new. When I read in an open mic, whether it's mine or someone else's, I try to read something that's untested. And since we're doing one poem, you know, while we're doing the Zoom thing, here is one untested, new-ish poem for you. I'm going to share my screen so you can read along. And some of the people in this community inspired different parts of this poem. Trustworthy trio. So in 3 parts for the different people in this trio. Waiting for Kristen B, Esther Short Park, Ghost Town, USA, April 1, 2021. Baby cataract beneath the clock tower sans hands. Hidden Adina feeling lucky to be breathing, waiting on a friend. Out of doors, bathing in the sunshine, beaming. 2. Talk to me in 50 years. Morgan's Place, Kalama, Washington, April 7, 2021. We have to put our narratives in perspective. I get to write. This is my life. 3 black cats and a dog. You can't own anything. It's about stewardship. How can I serve? How do we ease the suffering? We're all addicted to something trying to separate us from what we know. Our food sources, nature, and now we're wondering why we're getting so sick. We're going back to sharing. 3. Kiss Me and Smile for Me, for Melinda Yingling and family, April 12, 2021. Every time we see our loved ones may be the last time, so there's no excuse. Love the shit out of them while they're still here. COVID-19 snatched Bill Yingling from this world, and he was one of the coolest guys I've ever met. Kathy says if she should die 5 minutes from now, she'd want some kick-ass good times before the whole shithouse goes up in smoke. So how about a smile and an upside-down kiss, just in case? That's what I have for you.
Oh.
Thank you.
Great.
So,
Awesome.
I could go into a whole thing about the Yinglings, but I don't actually have permission from the Yinglings to tell anything about them to anybody. But yeah, Bill Yingling was someone who was important to me in my childhood and died in April. I want to say thank you to Morgan and to all of our listeners and all of our readers, and especially to Micah Fletcher for that great feature. So glad you could do this. And I really hope that when we figure this out, all of you will come. Those of you that are wondering what'll happen when this is in person, to our friends from all over the country that are here, I guess I could put out the call now. If I can find somebody who can handle the audio-visual situation, I would love to have an in-person reading where we project the faces of these beautiful people from Texas and California and Maine and all over the place. But I am sure that I can't do that and host the thing at the same time. So I'm just going to put that out into the universe, and we'll see what comes back to us. Maybe there's somebody out there that can handle that that audio visual situation for us. So I want my friends from around the country to know that we are not looking forward to not being able to see you. So if we can work something out, we'll do that. And one of the things that I say to people often who maybe live in places where there isn't anything happening at the moment, and I'm not assuming that that's the case for any of you, is when I got to Vancouver, there wasn't really a literary scene. There wasn't really a lot going on. It was boring and I was bored. And so I decided to try to start a reading. Anybody can do that. Anyone can start one. Keeping one going might be another matter. If any of you want advice or want to pick my brain about what we've been doing here for the last 14 or so years, I'd be happy to talk to you about it. Anyway, much love to all of you, and thank you for being here tonight for Ghost Town Poetry Open Mic. And if you want to join us next month, we'll be here on June 10th with Sean Aveningo Sanders. She is the publisher, one of the publishers of the Poetry Box and the Poeming Pigeon. And she'll be reading to us next month on June 10th. I hope you can be here. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Micah. Really great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Christopher. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Morgan.
thank you, guys.
Christopher.
Thank you. You're welcome.
It was fun.
Thank you. It's lovely to see you. We'll look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you. And remember, if you missed anything from the chat, I'll be sending that along. When I send the link to the YouTube video, I will send those links from the chat for anybody who missed it.
Cool.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great night.
Good night.
What if we never leave?
All right.